In the next series of videos, we will be completing the chapter practice exercise 3-2, Future Value Bootstrap. You can find the instructions for this exercise in addition to the base web application that we'll be downloading and starting with in D2L under the Chapters module, under Chapter 3. I have the instructions already open in another web tab in my browser. And for the first video, we'll keep it simple. We're only going to go through steps 1 through 3. We'll open the web application and take a look at the web form and then add the label elements to identify the server controls. So that's our goal for this video. To accomplish that, I need to go ahead and download the EX03 Future Value Bootstrap web application from D2L. The folder in the compressed file is the solution 02 Future Value Bootstrap, and it is just the solution that we created for Chapter 2 with all of the formatting removed on the web form. So I'm going to extract this down to my desktop and place it in the folder for my information systems 4950 exercises. Once that is downloaded, I can go ahead and move the browser off of my screen and go to Visual Studio, open the solution that I just downloaded and extracted. Here is the folder Solution 02 Future Value Bootstrap. Go ahead and open that solution file. Once the solution opens, go ahead and click on the default.aspx file. It will open by default in the source view, and in the source view you can see that we have some HTML5 elements added. Here is the header element and the main element, and I'd like to refer you to Chapter 3 in your textbook, pages 86 and 87. Gives a good description of the HTML5 semantic elements and gives some lists the main elements that you would be using for HTML5. In general, the two benefits from using semantic elements is a simplified HTML and CSS, and also an improved search engine optimization. So those semantic elements here are the header element and the main element. Go ahead and go over to the design. You'll notice in the source, before we switch to the design, you can notice in the source that a lot of the HTML elements have been removed. So our table tags with all of the TR and TD tags have all been removed. And when I switch over to the design view, you can see that that has changed the look of our web form. Now we just see all of the text and the controls bunched together instead of laid out in the table format that we did back in the Chapter 2 exercise. I'm going to run this application so we can see what this looks like in the browser, so that we'll have something to compare it to when we get finished with adding all of our new changes for the formatting using Bootstrap and CSS. You can see that the web application runs correctly. I can go ahead and calculate, clear, and my validators also work. It's just that the layout and the formatting needs a little bit of help. So go ahead and close the web browser, stop running the application, and let's start by adding a simple HTML element. This is on the instructions. I'm down to step number 3. So I'm going to add these label elements, and I'm going to include in these elements attributes that identify the server controls. So go ahead and click on the source, and let's add that. The first label element will be for monthly investment. I'm going to add an extra line and start by adding label. This label monthly investment identifies our drop-down list, DDL monthly investment. So to identify that server control, I'm just going to say for equals, and in quotation marks specify the name of the server control or the ID of the server control. On the ending label tag, I'm going to take that and just drag and drop it over here at the end so that the text monthly investment is between the beginning and the ending label tags. Go ahead and do the same thing for the remaining text boxes, the one for annual interest rate. This time I'm going to say for equals TXT interest rate, because I'm now identifying a text box instead of my drop-down list. So the process is the same though. I still just use the ID of the control to identify it in the label element, and then drag and drop that ending label to the end. Go ahead and do on your own labels that identify the server controls for both the number of years and the future value.